Good morning to everyone, and this is an exciting day. I certainly want to start by acknowledging the council members who are present. Council Member Tiffany Thomas, who is here. Council Member Carlos Cisneros, it's right there. Council Member Gallegos is here, but he's outside on City Hall steps temporarily, so I want to acknowledge all of them. And look, I am honored to welcome a group. And let me also, just from the beginning, let me acknowledge County Commissioner Adrian Garcia. I'm going to be acknowledging him again, but I certainly want to thank you, Commissioner, for being here. And not just today, but the collaboration between the city and the county has been outstanding. I'm honored to welcome a group of distinguished guests for an important announcement today about the Prairie View A&M University Healthy Houston Initiative. And if you'll just join me in welcoming John Sharp, the Chancellor of Texas A&M University System. Chancellor Sharp, it's just good to see you again. And welcome to City Hall. Dr. Ruth Simmons, the President of Prairie View A&M University. It's just good to have you back in your hometown and right next door to Fifth Ward, the Nickel, you know. And as you will see as this unfolds, that's very, very special because in part, Complete Communities focuses on communities and neighborhoods that have been underserved for a long time, and Dr. Ruth Simmons is quite familiar with the city of Houston as a whole and with that Fifth Ward community. And then we have again Harris County Commissioner of Precinct 2, Adrian Garcia, and we all know how much of a champion he is for not only for the county but for every precinct within the entire Harris County as well. And then I want to acknowledge Gerald D'Souza, Dr. Gerald D'Souza, who is the Dean and Director of Land Grant Programs, the College of Agriculture and Human Sciences, right there at Prairie View A&M. So Dr. D'Souza, good to have you with us. And I know we'll be joined soon by Senator John Whitmire, and we're also joined by the Vice Mayor Pro Tem, Martha Castek Tatum, whose son is a senior at Prairie View and A&M University, who's graduating in December, and he is the, what do we call him? He's the drum major, you know, and periodically he comes to me for some moves, some what they can use. Have to laugh at that one myself. And then, of course, there are a number of others who are here who are directly affiliated with Prairie View A&M University as well. While we cannot be on the Hill at Prairie View today, I am pleased to bring Prairie View to the city of Houston, to City Hall. We always expect transformational projects from the first state-supported college in Texas for African Americans, which was established in 1876. Today, the visionary leadership of the university and the A&M system are announcing a transformational effort to benefit Houston's complete communities and other under-resourced and underserved neighborhoods in our city. And that is why Councilmember Carolyn Evans-Shabazz has just come in to join us, because she represents the transformation. When I launched Complete Communities in 2017, which is headed by Shannon Buggs, I promised to not be a mayor of two cities, one of haves and one of have-nots. Every Houstonian has a right to make the choice to live in the neighborhood where he or she grew up and have the same amenities in their communities that are commonplace in so many other neighborhoods in our city. I began in 5 neighborhoods: Acres Home, we affectionately refer to as the Fofo, Gulfton, near Northside, and I know it's 4-4. Now, since everybody is looking and listening, I know it's 4-4. But in Acres Home, we say Fofo. The Gulfton area near Northside, 2nd Ward and 3rd Ward. And in 2019, I expanded the initiative to 5 additional neighborhoods: Alief, Westwood, Fort Bend, Houston, Kashmere Gardens, Magnolia Park, Manchester, and Sunnyside. These 10 communities were selected because they have not reached their full potential due to historical, private, and public underinvestment. However, these communities also have great strengths, opportunities, and partners working to improve these communities, including Prairie View A&M University and the Texas A&M University System, who are today announcing the Prairie View A&M University Healthy Houston Initiative. The mission of the Healthy Houston Initiative, Prairie View, is to improve health, nutrition, and wellness in selected underserved communities in Houston. And I might add, it is quite timely. This year, the Prairie View A&M Healthy Houston Initiative will focus on the complete communities of Third Ward, the Trey, Sunnyside, Kashmere Gardens, and the Acres Home, as well as the neighborhoods of Fifth Ward, the Nickel, and Denver Harbor, and the specific communities of the CUNY Homes and Haverstock. And if I might add, by investing in these communities, we're investing in people, we're investing in families, and we're investing in children. It does make a difference because the uniqueness of today, coming from the Texas A&M system, Prairie View, is that Dr. Simmons is an example that when you do invest, you can come from these communities, be the head of Brown University, now the president of Prairie View, and be right here today. And so I cannot underscore the importance of the contribution that the system as well as the university is making. It aligns with Prairie View A&M University's mission to invest in programs and services that address issues and challenges affecting Texas' diverse ethnic and social economic population, and the Complete Communities mission to ensure that all neighborhoods have access to consistent quality services and amenities that improve their lives. Virtual and face-to-face activities will consist of nutrition education, food demonstrations, gardening, mental health first aid training, and telehealth screening to assist in identifying intervention strategies for self-care related to diabetes, blood pressure, and other health conditions cited in Complete Communities database, data books, and action plans. And as we know, this pandemic has had a profound impact on people with underlying communities, specifically in the communities and neighborhoods that we are talking about today. The objective of the Healthy Houston Initiative is to promote healthy lifestyles among underserved individuals and families through outreach, assessment, and non-formal educational programs. And it will expand their awareness of available healthy living programs and healthy services available to residents. And lastly, participants will understand the impact of food and other factors on their health and learn strategies to prevent and control disease and enhance their family resource management. And let me close by simply saying this. If we can provide people with healthy foods and education and awareness, then we certainly can put them in a better position where they can grow up and learn and be like the people that are on this stage today. And I want to thank Texas A&M System, Prairie View A&M University for taking the initiative and partnering with us here at the city and the county in building a collaboration that will benefit so many. Now let me yield to Chancellor Sharp to provide more information about the program, and he in turn will introduce Dr. Simmons. Chancellor Sharp, welcome to City Hall.
Thank you, sir.
And congratulations on the game.
Well, thank you.
You won the Cougar, but you played like one, huh?
One of the things I hate worse in life is following Sylvester Turner. But be that as it may, first of all, I want to talk about, in the A&M system, we are blessed to have 2 land-grant universities, Texas A&M College Station and Prairie View A&M University. And by land-grant, what I mean is folks that have people outside of the university The A&M system has somebody in every single county in the state of Texas. And what they previously have done before 2015 was they advise people on agriculture. They go to farmers, they tell farmers, here's what you grow, here's what you plant, here's what you feed your cattle, here's how you produce all this kind of stuff. And it occurred to us that if you got all of those people, every single county in the state of Texas, save one, and that one county is where there are more cows than there are people, there ought to be other things that we can do. And one of the things that we did, of course, as Mayor Turner knows, is we utilized them for Hurricane Harvey to work with the Rebuild Texas. But before that, it occurred to us that there was a really serious problem out there that needs to be addressed, and that is that there are millions and millions of Texans that do not have primary care physicians like most of the folks in this room. They don't. They go maybe to the emergency room when it's maybe too late to prevent something, but they don't get the advice about food. They don't get the advice about health care. They don't get the advice about diabetes and what things to eat and stuff like that. And so we decided that we were going to try this in South Texas, and we called it the Healthy South Texas Initiative. And fortunately, the vice chairman of the Appropriations Committee at that time was a young man with no gray hair named Sylvester Turner. And Sylvester Turner, along with John Whitmire in the Senate, Chuy Hinojosa in the Senate, the Lieutenant Governor, Patrick, as well as Semfronia Thompson and some others, decided, let's throw some money at these 22 counties and see if this works. And they did. And they made that appropriation. And ever since then, Mayor Turner's been saying, when is South Texas going to reach Houston? And so let me just tell you about the very first meeting we had in McAllen, Texas. In McAllen, Texas, we ran a couple of ads in the paper and we said, if you are pregnant and you want advice on prenatal care for your unborn baby, come to the McAllen Civic Center at 8 o'clock on a certain Saturday morning. Ran about 2 or 3 ads, a little bit on the radio and stuff like that. At 6 o'clock in the morning, there was 1,000 women in line. There were 7,500 people came to the McAllen Civic Center and stayed all day to listen to folks talk about prenatal care, about what you need to do to prevent diabetes, and it just went on. And that has replicated itself up and down that part of South Texas. And we have always obviously wanted to go into Houston. Enter the best president of a university in the state of Texas, Ruth Simmons. And Ruth Simmons came to me and said, first of all, young man, I need $750,000, and I'm way too scared over to turn that down. And so the system gave her $750,000, and you're going to see some amazing things happen in these areas that we're talking about. And it's not just healthcare. I mean, there are 4 things that they're going to be looking at. I mean, the 4 things that they're talking about, the College of Agriculture and Human Sciences is obviously going to talk about healthy food, gardening, all kinds of things that you should and shouldn't eat. But the College of Nursing is going to teach about diabetes. They're going to be taking people's blood pressure, healthy weight, seeing if there are things like that that we can catch early before it winds up to be a really serious problem. The College of Business is going to teach about business and financial planning for families, and juvenile justice and psychology is going to teach as well. And so it's bringing all of the resources of Prairie View's land grant mission and the system's land grant mission to all of the people in these communities. And I promise you, before this is over with, you will say, just as they are in South Texas, my gosh, this is an amazing thing that Prairie View, in particular, and the A&M system with them, is going to be bringing to these communities. We hope one day to take this statewide, and perhaps the legislature will in some future days, but being a huge success in Houston is going to be a big part of that. And so we are real excited to be able to do this, to expand our land grant mission of both Prairie View and the A&M system into Houston, and I think you're going to see something that just as it was in many parts of South Texas, a transformative event. And I want to thank Mayor Turner, perhaps on the level with Chuy Hinojosa, for allowing this to even get off the ground to begin with, as when he was vice chairman of appropriations. Then once we got that money, we had no use for him, so y'all got to elect him mayor. But anyway, thank you, Mayor, for doing that. It took a while to get to Houston, but thank you. And now I'd like to present to you the best university president in the state of Texas, maybe the country, Ruth Simmons.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh, gee. Well, I'm going to be brief because thanks to Chancellor Sharp and the mayor, you've heard about what we're trying to do here today, and you'll hear from our Dean of Ag, who will say a bit more. But what I want to do is thank a few people, if you permit me. First of all, I want to thank the mayor for making it possible for me to be at Prairie View, because he repeatedly has claimed that he is responsible for persuading me to remain at the university. I'd also like to express our gratitude, honestly, for the manner in which the mayor advocates ceaselessly for the neediest communities in Houston. Having grown up in Fifth Ward, I know firsthand how meaningful it is for the mayor of the city to include these communities in his mandate. In our first year of this effort, as you heard, we're going to focus on Third Ward, Haverstock, CUNY Homes, and Acres Homes. Somehow Acres Homes always seems to get in there. Right? Residents in these and other areas deserve better physical, mental, and financial health, and that is what this program is all about. To my boss, John Sharp, whose unwavering support for Prairie View has been pivotal in so many ways, our thanks will always fall short of what he deserves. But I have to pick a bone with him right now. I usually do, actually, because he told you that this was my idea, and that's not true. The Healthy Houston initiative that we announced today was, in fact, his idea. He suggested that our land-grant mission as an A&M university was relevant to urban areas, and that our extension program might well look further to areas of need for improved health outcomes in these communities. So as you heard, Harris County extension agents who were already leading youth outreach programs in these communities, addressing nutrition, community gardens, and youth development, will be available to include this mission in their work. And he suggested that Prairie View should launch its own version of Healthy Texas, offered by A&M institutions throughout Texas. So that's the truth, Mr. Mayor. And the only other thing I want to do today, I am so proud of this program for a host of reasons. I'm proud of our work at Prairie View, our colleges doing yeoman-like work on behalf of the people that they serve. But I have to say that my mother died when I was 15 years old. And I'd like to think that if we'd had something like this, that she would have lived to see me grow up. That's how important this is. So I want finally to thank the Prairie View team for the work that went into putting this together. My thanks to the Deans of Nursing, and the Dean of Nursing, Betty Adams. Of course, to the College of Business, the College of Agriculture and Human Sciences, whose dean you will hear from shortly, and the College of Juvenile Justice and Psychology for their hand in shaping the program. And I have to add that Greg Hartman from the system, also Vice Chancellor for Health Sciences in Texas A&M University System, advised us along the way. So under the oversight of Provost James Palmer, who is here somewhere, and Dean D'Souza, a multidisciplinary team spent many months working on the design of the program. So, Mr. Mayor, let me conclude by saying thank you once again for the work that you do for us. And as I continue to say, for all those children out there in these communities, to hear your mayor, your elected officials, citing how important it is to satisfy your needs is something that is irreplaceable to these young people. And I always think when I was a kid, growing up in fairly desperate circumstances, the thing that kept me going was the fact that there were people out there somewhere in Houston looking toward the future, trying to create opportunities for me. So that's what we do, all of us, every time we represent how important these young people are, how important their families are. So let's keep doing that. Thank you very much. And now I want to introduce our estimable Dean of Agriculture and Human Sciences, Gerard D'Souza.
Thank you, President Simmons. Good afternoon, distinguished guests. Greetings on behalf of the College of Agriculture and Human Sciences. Mr. Mayor, Chancellor Sharp, President Simmons, elected representatives, and members of the Prairie View family, as well as our remote audiences. Ladies and gentlemen, it's T-0, and we have liftoff. The eagerly anticipated launch that has been months in the making from visionaries Chancellor Sharp and President Simmons, who identified the need and formulated the idea, to the development of a successful proposal led by Provost Palmer, and ongoing brainstorming by an interdisciplinary team tasked with program development and delivery, all during a pandemic. This is a giant leap that will propel Prairie View A&M University to ground zero right here in the heart of the fourth largest city from small steps. It's a special day indeed. Prairie View A&M University is a special place, and during a special time, the stars are aligning for us, particularly my college, where food is front and center. Food security is one of the signature programs of my college. Indeed, this theme is infused in all three mission areas: teaching, research, extension. We know that food is life. Beyond that, food is health. It's well known that unhealthy eating is the #1 risk factor for premature death. Thus, a key component of the Healthy Houston Initiative is how food can contribute to better health and wellness outcomes. As an aside, the Nobel Peace Prize was announced on Friday. The World Food Program was the recipient, highlighting the paramount importance of food in the very fabric of society. The College of Agriculture and Human Sciences is a foundational college of Prairie View A&M University. The A stands for agriculture, and it is the only comprehensive agricultural college in the greater Houston area. It's only fitting that we are the lead partner in this initiative. Beyond food and nutrition, we focus on fighting cancer and diabetes, other food-related diseases, and improving the quality of life. Over the recent months, we have collectively discovered yet another way to harness the expertise on campus for the greater good of our core audiences: rural and urban youth, families, farms, businesses, and communities, especially those who are underserved and with limited resources. Our ability to bring the vast expertise of this, the second oldest public institution in the state of Texas, next to Texas A&M University, to the people, as envisioned by Lincoln when he signed the Morrill Act that created the land-grant system some 150 years ago. As a lead partner, we wish to emphasize the historic nature of this initiative. It's a collaboration including, among others, the College of Nursing, Juvenile Justice and Psychology, and the Business School, and some of my fellow deans are here today and have been recognized. Our extension service has a long history of serving the needs of the community around the state. This initiative is unique in that we're intentionally leveraging additional expertise on campus and bringing it directly to the community. Other collaborators include Mayor Turner's Complete Communities Initiative and an extensive network that is ultimately comprised of other community-based organizations, alumni, and elected officials. We hope to attract foundation and corporate partners to make this initiative sustainable. We can't do it alone. The Healthy Houston Initiative is also about seeking synergy through new connections and new networks, partnerships that enable us to harness the interconnectedness in the food, nutrition, and wellness galaxy for those who most need us. In this respect, the Healthy Houston Initiative serves as a beacon to underserved communities, shining the light on improving lives through health screenings and intervention strategies, educational workshops, parenting and family support, and even a mobile kitchen for demos, almost like a mobile classroom, harking back to George Washington Carver at Tuskegee University over 100 years ago, the so-called Jessup wagon. And taking signature programs of our extension service, many adapted in partnership with Texas A&M AgriLife partners, such as Heroes for Health, A Taste of African Heritage, Get Houston Moving, Backyard and Community Gardens. Algunos programas en español también. Recent events have highlighted disparities and reinforced how ag colleges such as ours, in partnership with others, can play a role in research discovery and dissemination, leading to a robust, safe, and resilient food system, which is needed now more than ever before. It is in this spirit we are delighted to be called upon to serve the communities that many of us call home. In closing, allow me to observe that this week is bookended on one end by the Healthy Houston Initiative, and the other end by World Food Day this Friday. The purpose is to increase global awareness and year-round attention to alleviate hunger. Incidentally, we will commemorate this activity on campus through a virtual event. In years ahead, we hope that the Healthy Houston Initiative can be a model for others. The best endorsement of this concept's validity is for others to mimic it, leading to a healthy Dallas, Austin, Atlanta, Boston. Maybe even a template for the aforementioned World Food Program. A shout out to the campus community, including Dr. Calvin Williams, who is coordinating program implementation, Dr. Beverly Copeland, Assistant to the President, Simmons for Strategic Initiatives and TAMIS Liaison, Ms. Krista Stoneham, our partner at the Complete Communities Initiative, and also the many folks who work behind the scenes from the President's office, some of whom are here, Candace Johnson, Carol Campbell, Matt Parson, our Government Relations Officer, Dr. Paul Johnson from my Communications Office, deans, faculty, and staff colleagues and students across the Prairie View campuses, and county agents in 35 counties for extension services. Thank you. Gracias.
Thank you, Dr. Sousa. Let me also now bring forward an integral partner with the City of Houston, and that's Harris County. And specifically, I want to highlight the importance of the work that we've been doing with Commissioner Adrian Garcia. This issue, I know, is very near and dear to him and to the people in his district, in his precinct. So, Commissioner Adrian Garcia, please.
Thank you. Good morning, Mayor. Thank you, Chancellor Sharp, Madam President, and to the distinguished faculty at Prairie View, and to council members. This is exciting. You know, you mentioned the Nobel Peace Prize. Well, let me just mention that although not the Nobel Peace Prize, but the second best prize, which is the Texas Association of Counties, Precinct 2 was recognized for the 2020 Best Practices Award because of, thank you, because much of what we have already discussed here. We submitted 6 programs that we have been doing, and they focused on the food distribution efforts that we have undertaken. Tons of food that we have been distributing throughout the community, and that was amongst one of the programs that was recognized. And so we're excited for this partnership, Mayor. Chancellor, Madam President, this is incredible because too often we operate in a culture of triage. We wait until we are sick to go to the emergency room instead of accessing preventative care to keep us healthy. Health is a major priority for me. Being a healthcare baby, a public healthcare baby, we have been making great strides, though, in Precinct 2 and in Harris County as a whole. And let me just, before I go on any further, I'd be remiss if I did not mention that the excitement of today's announcement is absolutely shared by County Judge Lina Hidalgo and my dear friend and Commissioner and colleague Rodney Ellis. And so we all are, and I'm sure we all on Commissioner's Court share the excitement for what is happening. In Precinct 2, as the mayor alluded to, this has been incredibly important to me. I have some of the most underserved areas, generally speaking, in Precinct 2, which is the east side of Harris County. And I have a beautiful community known as Barrett Station. And Barrett is one of the identified medically underserved areas. And so creating a clinic there and giving the community access has been so important because Barrett is, whether it's either 20 or 25 miles from LBJ or Bentop. And so we cannot allow that kind of disparity to continue. And then most recently, Precinct 2 is also home to the first in the nation smart pods, or rather smart pod access to health. This is a partnership with Baylor College of Medicine, and that is, the technology is second to none. However, the most exciting part of that program is that it comes with a partnership with Baylor College, because otherwise the constituents in my precinct would never have access to the type of quality care that Baylor could provide them. And so having that smart pod deployed in yet another medically underserved area, which is the Aldine community, has been so critical. And this is why, Madam President and Chancellor Sharp, a big whoop to you, by the way, on behalf of my family, not my staff. I got a Texas Tech guy there and a Longhorn at the office, so please don't hold that against us. But with that, the partnerships are so critical because it's how you get things done, especially with the fact that we're trying to overcome such an underfunded situation that we have been here locally. And because my precinct also has amongst the highest number of children and adults without health insurance. And it is so critical that we find creative and collaborative ways to get this done. And that's why I'm so grateful that for all that is being proposed in taking in a holistic perspective to whether it's healthcare or healthy food and addressing those needs, it is so critical because too many lack access to care, much less access to quality care. And for too many, whether it be in the fall or in the north side, too many have to make fundamental and critical decisions between paying rent or putting food on the table. And we just can do better. And so I am so grateful, Mayor, Chancellor Sharp, and to the faculty at Prairie View for your work, this collaboration, and looking for exciting things to happen. Because when we create and provide quality access to healthcare in the community becomes much more resilient. This pandemic has taught us that. But it also, as the mayor has alluded to, it creates a stronger economy. Thank you very much. Congratulations to all.
So again, let me, Chancellor Sharp, thank you. I mean, you have consistently been on the front end on so many things. And then your leadership from the state government itself, and then taking over and being the chancellor of the A&M system has just proven to be impactful. So let me thank you personally and as the mayor of the city of Houston. I appreciate you. To Dr. Simmons, our president, let me thank you, because this is huge. And so I want to thank Prairie View A&M University with the full support of the system for what you're doing here today. And I can't say thank you enough. And one of the major reasons why I want to say thank you is because when you're trying to convince people of the need to invest in complete communities, you need people who are willing to step out and say, we're willing to invest. So what the system and what Prairie View A&M is doing today, I think will cause others to do more than what they might have done. So what you're doing, I think, will exponentially create investments from so many others. So for that, I want to say thank you. For the entire Prairie View family, thank you. Lisa, is that you? That's Lisa. At Prairie View, but one of my constituents. And she lives in the downtown area, watches Municipal Channel all the time. So thank you. And then the council member, Evan Shabar's grandfather was a first president of A&M. So a lot of connections. Councilmember Robinson, thank you for being here. Appreciate that. Did I miss any other council members here? So again, let me say thank you. I know they will be here for individual interviews. So please feel free to talk with them. And I think just before we leave, we want to take one final picture with everyone.